the man that heareth me, and that watches daily at my gates, and waiteth at the posts of my doors. He that shall find me shall find life, and shall have salvation from the Lord. Continuation of the Holy Gospel according to Luke. At that time the angel Gabriel was sent from God into a city of Galilee called Nazareth, to a virgin espoused to a man whose name was Joseph of the house of David, and the virgin's name was Mary. And the angel being come in said unto her, Hail, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women. Dearly beloved, one of the most interesting questions in Christology regards the devil's knowledge about the divinity of Jesus. How much did he know? What was hidden from him by the power of God? St. Paul suggests that there was ignorance up until the very death of Christ. As he wrote to the Corinthians, none of the princes of this world knew the mystery, for if they had known it, they would never have crucified the Lord of glory. St. Thomas, following St. Bede, says that the princes of the world refer to the demons. Had they known that Christ was divine, they never would have stirred up the religious leaders to demand his death, for it was in his dying that he conquered them. Had he known the truth, the devil would never have done the very thing that led to his definitive defeat. This means that the moment of the Annunciation was also hidden from Satan's view, that sublime dialogue between angel and virgin, which we just heard the beginning. Such an early witness as St. Ignatius of Antioch speaks of it. The prince of this world, he says, was in ignorance of the virginity of Mary and her childbearing. Had he known that Mary had borne a child miraculously, he would have recalled Isaiah 7:14 and been on his guard, ready to pounce on the child at the proper time. But he was unprepared. This line of questioning can be applied also to today's mystery. The conception of the Mother of God was known to Satan, but the immaculate quality of her soul was surely unknown to him. How could he anticipate that centuries of the same havoc being passed on from father to child through original sin would suddenly be broken in the child of Joachim and Anna? Though he suspected that God would attack him more directly at some point in the future, he had grown complacent. Though he knew the prophecies, he did not know how they would unfold, let alone who would be chosen to enact them. Mary's conception meant little to him, though her tiny foot, even in the womb, was slowly crushing his angelic head. In the years that followed her birth, one can almost imagine an appendix to the Screwtape letters, in which the demons assigned to Palestine reported the superiors, remarking that there is one little girl at the temple at Jerusalem who is impervious to their wiles. She obeys promptly, she throws no tantrum, she works without murmuring, she prays with such fervor. Something is wrong, they say. Perhaps Satan should be informed. But when he was told, he laughed. The Maccabees were a distant memory. The Jews had not had a prophet of note for some time. And more to the point, he had little respect for women ever since the fall of Eve. There had been skirmishes with some of them, some minor defeats to Judith, Esther, and others, but he was confident that the daughters of Eve were well within his grasp. In the office for today's feast, a verse is repeated at Lauds and Vespers. Today is the Immaculate Conception of Holy Mary the Virgin, who crushed the head of the serpent by her virginal foot. We celebrate this feast each year with great solemnity because it is the beginning of our salvation. With sinless Mary in the womb, the devil's power is already waning. In a striking reversal by God's design, a woman enters the world as fulfillment of the proto-evangelium. She is the new Eve, a sinless virgin like her forebear, but unlike her, wholly devoted to God, and given power to defeat Satan by her very being. And not only that, but her Immaculate Conception is a prelude to her Son, the new Adam, who will recreate the human race and usher in a new age, one in which ever-increasing numbers will evade his grasp and break off his yoke to serve the King of Heaven. By God's gift, Mary's victory over Satan was granted at her very conception. Ours is begun at baptism, but must be established by a lifetime of conformity to Christ, with his suffering and death worked out in us through trials and temptations. And that is why the Church constantly recommends to us devotion to the Mother of God. She has crushed the head of Satan, and she is eager that we, her children, do the same. But we are so weak in doing so. While she could do it even in the womb with her little baby feet, we fail even fully grown in a mature stature. We step on his head, but then we let off again and never finish the job. What better way to ensure our victory than to remain ever close to her and beg her assistance day after day? She protects us, she teaches us, she strengthens us, and when we fail, she helps us to rise again. As we heard her say in the first reading, "Now therefore, ye children, hear me. Blessed are they that keep my ways. Hear instruction and be wise, and refuse it not. Blessed is the man that heareth me, and that watches daily at my gates, and waiteth at the posts of my doors. He that shall find me shall find life, and shall have salvation from the Lord." If Eve was called the mother of all the living, Mary, as the new Eve, is the mother of all who truly live. And true life is to use one's freedom, one's gifts, one's life to serve the Holy Trinity. And she is the mother of both Christ and his members, of the head and the body. And just as she nurtured the Lord as a child and then strengthened him by her prayers when he left home, she does so for us. Eve left us exposed and vulnerable, destined to bear our own burden. But Mary accompanies us on the road to glory and even carries us in her arms when necessary. She is sinless first out of reverence for the Son of God, and second to assist her sons and daughters in this world. As the new Eve, she is the helpmate of the new Adam, and because of that, she is given power to make the universal redemption won by Christ come to completion in the lives of the elect. On this great feast of hers, let us cry out to her again, confident that though we are weak, she is strong. Though Satan knows us all too well, the love of the Mother of God is more powerful than any of his wiles. Loving Mother of the Redeemer, have pity on us sinners. O Mary, conceived without sin, pray for us who have recourse to thee.